Now you just scared me from going near it. But no, one day I'll watch it. Probably soon, because I'm gonna blow through Thunderbolt Fantasy like that, and then I'll have another week to watch stuff again. Because that was kind of the awesome thing about finishing this show in like a week. It's like, oh, I have nothing to watch now. Let me start watching things on the backlog.
A week or a day?
A day.
Exactly.
So, what was I gonna say real quick though? Yeah, no, he was just kind of going on about, talking about like, how like, oh, the main character's so dumb that it's amazing why he hasn't been caught. And then I'm like, the show explains that? And then he's like, the show's goofy one moment, but then super serious the next. And I'm like, people like Samurai Champloo and Cowboy Bebop, and that's exactly what they do.
Oh, yeah.
And every other goddamn anime in existence. Like,
oh, yeah, definitely. Dude, especially Samurai Champloo, man. That shit was just like literally just did 180s the whole time.
Yeah, like one episode, they'll have an episode where one of the guys falls in love with a geisha, you know, an escort.
Yeah.
And then they have this big heartbreaking moment where he decides not to leave her and continue to fulfill his promise to the main girl. And then the next episode they're fighting zombies, and it's like one of the goofiest episodes they had. Or like, I forgot, there was one episode that they had that was really heavy, and then the next episode was them running around with a Russian immigrant.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that.
Like gay. Yeah, I'm like, anime does this all the time. Even stuff like, you know, Goblin Slayer, which has some really intense fucking moments, but when everything slows down, it's super silly and fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I don't know who touched you. I don't know if you have a thing against Netflix anime that I just don't know about because I don't keep up with their content a whole lot. But the show ain't that bad. and your criticisms are kind of like, anime's done that before. And you've praised anime that has done this before.
Mm-hmm.
I hate when people do that.
I think for me, I prefer his Let's Plays a lot more.
I miss his Let's Plays, but sadly...
He used to do this a lot more, but now it's more like reviews and like and then anime news.
Yeah, and memes, like a ton of memes.
Oh,
like,
dude, the memes always get me though.
Yeah.
Because that's where I always get my fresh content.
I always like... I always like the Try Not to Cringe challenge.
Yeah!
Where it's people hitting them with everything they've got, and some of them are just like, what are you... You guys have to be making this. Like, this is... I have no idea what you would even imagine looking for this.
Oh, dude, the best part was when when I went to the Azurling 1 year anniversary party and everything. They made a compilation video like, oh, what's happened throughout the years. And they've even made like a section like thanking all the content creators that displayed them. Noble was there. And I'm like, oh, I remember this when he first found out about Azurling. Not only about the lollies, but then there was swimsuits that you can buy in the shop.
Yeah, oh yeah, the videos, the video he made was like, you can get your waifu wet. It's like, oh. But
and then the best part was they even made a commercial with all those content creators as well. Like, that's literally what got me into Zerlin in the first place. Because I would be on YouTube one randomly and then the commercial was like, oh, a Zerling commercial. It's like, what? Noble's doing this commercial. It's like, why wouldn't you play this game? It's like, you get boat girls and they get wet.
Yeah.
And you can't even dress them up in swimsuits.
Yeah. Wait, so you went to the event already? I thought that was this week.
No, it was last week Friday.
Oh.
I already have a bunch of pictures already.
Ooh. One day. One day.
I just gotta make the account and post them.
Yeah.
One day!
So many things are happening. Like, you had your Azurling thing, and we're literally leaving next week.
Mm-hmm. On Thursday. I was about to say Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm like, really? We're not gonna be able to check into the hotel room.
That's fine, we'll camp outside.
We'll camp on the car. What time are we leaving, though? Because I noticed that the time kept getting shorter the more we talked about. Like, first it was 4 hours, and then it went into 3, and then now you're saying 2.5. And I'm like, are you sure we're gonna get there in time?
No, because the thing about it is I kept checking it at different times of the day, so traffic varied.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna do a little bit of a scan right now just to see. Where's my maps? There we go.
I say arguably we should probably leave around 4:30? Like, no, we should at least leave like 4.5 hours at least.
Cool.
Time to get there. What's the time now?
5 hours, 6 minutes.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Oh, traffic. That's right, it's rush hour right now.
Yeah, so we might be on the road for quite a while. And, you know, we don't want to, like, risk anything for fear that we will probably lose our hotel room or be too late to the event.
Mm-hmm. Ah, that makes sense. Yeah, because we're gonna be going, because like the current route, we're not gonna be going coastal. We're literally gonna be going through the middle of we're literally gonna go through the San Joaquin Valley.
Oh, good.
So we're gonna see a lot of farmland.
Hopefully we don't get jumped.
Yeah.
Don't stop for anyone, people.
Because if anything, the party starts at around like 8 o'clock p.m.
Yeah.
We want to give ourselves enough time to get settled in.
Mm-hmm.
So if anything, you want to leave like around 2 p.m.?
If you think that's enough time, yeah.
Yeah, because if anything, my safety net will be like just like 1 p.m. just so I can start getting ready. If we finish early, then we can leave early enough.
Yeah.
I'm most likely just going to speed through this whole sucker.
Yeah. Yeah, and then, well... Do you know what days you're gonna have off? You're gonna basically be working up until the day we leave, right?
No.
No?
They gave me paid time off already, so I'm good to go.
Oh, okay. So we might be able to do a show before we leave.
Mm-hmm. Or we can even do it during.
That is true.
Just like a podcast during the whole car ride.
Oh my god, that would be fun. I was thinking of something like that, but I'm like, I don't know.
I have portable batteries and cells.
Well, I can always fill up the laptop. The laptop's battery is really good. This thing can be on for like a week and a half until it finally dies.
And then if anything like that, so we could just try something new. We could just do like a vlog or something.
That's what I was thinking.
Because
like,
Ben's gonna be there. Ah, fuck! That means I'm gonna have to hide myself.
What do you mean, hide yourself?
For the main Rui account.
Yeah, you forget we have a chap lover.
Exactly. So I'm gonna have to hide myself.
Well, technically, he's not a chap lover because he refuses to admit that any of the chaps are actually boys.
Yeah.
Like, what was the character in ReZero's name again?
And ReZero? Oh, so Felix.
There we go, Felix. Yeah, he still refuses to admit Felix is a boy.
Oh my god, man! I think I remember like the most recent argument for was like, no, it's that Boosie. With a B. I'm like, oh god,
Boosie.
no.
That's even weirder than when I hear people say Venus. I'm like, what the fuck are you saying? But anyway, so yeah, Chip's coming up soon. I'm super excited. I'm really mad because I'm probably gonna be out $200 before the Chip starts. Because I'm buying that fucking Ninja Turtle thing. Ooh. And the guy's giving me a deadline until next Wednesday.
Oh shit.
Yeah, like usually the guy's super cool and he's like, yeah, you know, I'm not even gonna put it out on display, I'll hold it for you as long as you need. This one, I know he knows he can make money out of it because it's a Comic-Con exclusive. So he's all like, yeah, when do you think you're going to be able to pick it up? And I'm like, fuck. How about Wednesday? He's like, yeah, that's good. And I'm like, fuck, if I don't get that thing, he's gonna sell it. And then I'm gonna have to go online and find one for like $300. No, fuck that. I'll be out $200 on mine. Plus, I'm gonna say this right now, if the people who fucking make Bring Arts release those Kingdom Hearts figures early at Crunchyroll, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Oh.
I'm going to murder you.
I think I might have some bad news for that then.
Why? Are they gonna be over there?
No, yeah, because like one of the things that Crunchyroll teased in their posts and everything is they're gonna be having a lot of exclusive merch for first time releases there, so that might be a possibility.
What's the company that's making it again? Do you know the company that makes Bring Arts?
I'm not sure.
Okay, well, we should probably get the show kicked off right now.
Mm-hmm. More updates later on for what we're gonna be doing.
Yeah.
Oh, and the schedule's live too, so we can actually start planning the days.
That is true. I know, I gotta start looking to see if there's anything interesting there. For sure, I want to go to the Kira Buckland panel because, you know, she's acquaintance with the podcast.
Mm-hmm. And they're gonna be doing a lot of like pre-releases for a lot of anime that's gonna be coming out this fall.
Yeah.
I think for me, the one I'm excited the most is Black Fox.
Wait, that's gonna be over there?
Yeah, it's gonna be a premiere over there at Crunchyroll.
I just saw the trailer for that. I want to fucking see that so bad. Yeah. I was mad it was a movie. I'm like, oh shit, is this out right now? Fuck, it's a movie.
They're gonna premiere it at Crunchyroll.
Okay, yeah, but we gotta fight to that one. But that, God, Crunchyroll Expo, I hope your attendance isn't gonna be like Anime Expo bad. I know they're kind of preparing for it due to how bad Anime Expo was, but, you know, there's a lot of people who aren't gonna be there, so, you know, like Anime Expo I feel is like the big one where everyone's there. Except, fun fact, if anyone was wondering, because I did hear a few people say it, if anyone's wondering why Jessica Nigri wasn't there, it's because RTX decided to have their convention the same weekend.
Oh!
and when you work specifically for when you work specifically with that company on a multitude of shows, yeah, you're gonna go to that convention rather than the one that you're just gonna be guesting at.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, man. No, speaking of conventions, man, because like earlier this week, GameStop laid off a lot of its workers, especially like you know, like the magazine that GameStop's affiliated with,
Game Informer.
Yeah. So like, so recently, according to that, like they recently fired like half their staff, including one of the lead editors.
Yeah.
And then the sad part was like it was something that just came out of nowhere. So like there were a couple people who were actually like at Gamescom in Europe, working at the time for the Informer when they got the news that they got fired.
They just get an email saying, "Hey, guess what? You're fired." What?
Yeah.
Oh.
So like they already cut half down the staff, and it's mainly because like they're trying to migrate all their stuff into the internet now. So because like you know, published paperwork is already out of date.
Are we back? Okay.
Hey, back from the glitch.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go and air out some things on the laptop. But I remember back in the day how like Game Informers used to be at like bookstores, and then a few years later you could only get them at GameStops, and they were mainly just shoving them in your face.
Yep.
They're kind of like, oh, here's a Game Informer magazine. I don't read that. And there's even some people who have like, I just took them and they never said anything. I wasn't like a pro member. I never paid for it. I just took them. but yeah, that sucks.
No, because same thing's happening with IKEA. Because this year, because every year there's always an event called K-Drop where every time we release a new catalog, we always get bogged down with a shit ton of people.
Oh.
But this year it kind of hit us late, only because we migrated all of our catalogs, most of our catalogs to digital version.
Oh, and no one knew.
Yeah, so most people who usually get them via mail were kind of like, I wonder when the new catalog was coming in.
Oh.
And it wasn't until like it spread by word of mouth that we recently had like our rush this weekend, which was for me was not as bad as I expected. But then again, that's because our department recently got a shit ton of new people, and we had a bunch of new cards, so we were kind of prepared this year.
Yeah, we're finally Goodwill's finally slowing down on the donations, and the cage count is getting better, so we can finally take all the cages we need. I'm so happy for that. I'm like, not a lot of people are coming, and look at all the cages they have to the point where they're telling us to take some. Oh, thank God for that.
I know, man.
Yeah. So anyway, enough with idle chit chat.
That should actually be like a little like mini segment we should have separate of the the podcast.
I've always tried to make it a thing.
No, I mean like separate from like the actual episode of anything. Like probably like one point like of anything like idle chit chat before the episode starts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe I will start splitting them up, or at least marking it, letting them know.
Yeah, like when to skip ahead if they don't want to listen to what's going on.
Yeah, but I should be honest and be like, do you want the actual review of the show that will probably 199% be breaking up by idle chit chat anyway? Well, there you go.
Yep.
I'm not doing a Cliff Notes version of the show, that's too much work. Coming from the guy who wants to do an audio drama, which, looking at videos on how to do it is going to be a fuck ton of work.
I mean, hey, Kara Buckland's doing the voice acting lessons over at Crunchyroll, so there you go.
Yeah, true. But that's not what I'm worried. I'm worried about voice acting, yeah, because I've never actually had to do voice stuff like that. I'm talking about like actually editing the thing, like putting the sound effects, making things mesh well.
Like that one Japanese chick who appeared in a reality TV show, who's a voice actress, and then she shows that she can do more than one voice. So she does this cutesy voice, and then she does like the older sister voice.
Yeah.
Where she was like, Hamada-san, name desu. And then like the guy just literally orgasming in the chair. She's like, what kind of face is that? That's such a nasty looking face. He's like, oh.
Okay, for a second I thought you were talking about that jerk-off karaoke.
No.
When they were singing karaoke, and then like a girl would come and jerk the person off.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, you never heard of that?
No.
Oh, I gotta look for the video. It was only in Japanese, so like it'll be hard finding the title.
JAV?
Japanese? No, it's not JAV. No, it's all censored. It's like the guy is standing and there's like a curtain around his legs, and then you just see a girl walk up and you start seeing the hand do this, and then the guy has to sing a song, but he has to sing within tune. But there's a lot of guys who are like, "Yo no sé." And then this one guy, poor dude, he didn't even start. It's like he only got himself started. So like after in 10 seconds, I'll be nice. Boom. I'm like, dude. Also, it turns out those Bing arts are, those Bing arts are actually like Square Enix.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if they got announced or not.
Yeah, I don't know. If anything, some person will probably have them, or Square Enix will give them to someone. But see, they announced these little fuckers too, but they're not until like January, so I'm okay.
Oh, 40 euros. It's
Yeah.
like, what, like 60 bucks here in the United States, 50?
Oh, I think they're gonna be like 50 here, yeah. I don't know how I ended up in the UK Square Enix store.
UK usually gets their stuff first before we do.
Oh, I should probably buy from there.
That's the thing. UK's kind of like in shambles right now, especially with Brexit and everything.
Yeah.
So like the pound's literally kind of like, what is this?
Right. Oh, the Naki came out today. I need to buy that. That's an RPG game.
Ooh, you had me at RPG.
Yeah. They're like, it's RPG, but it's like hack and slash, and I'm like, okay, you had me there. Because I'm all for a good I'm all for like a good turn-based game, but you know, I do prefer my hack and slashies.
Oh, just like Dragon Dragoon.
Which one's Dragon Dragoon again?
The one that started it all and eventually led to Nier Automata.
Oh no! You're not talking about... Wait. Oh no. Shit, what was the name? What was the other games that are connected to Nier called?
It was like the original Nier, Dragon Dragoon, which was like pretty much like the beginning of like literally a really old hack and slash.
It's like Dragon God or something.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, that's the one that like they're within the same universe as.
I mean, you can tell by the designs.
Yeah, yeah. What is it? my friend's brother was telling me yesterday that apparently you probably know about this too. When Nier Automata got popular, the guy asked for send me any lewd fan art you guys have.
Yeah.
And then when they did, he's like, bless you.
Yeah, I remember that. Yokotaro?
Yeah. Fucking Yokotaro. Oh, sorry guys. Recovery. I always put Discovery of an MMO Junkie and then I get like really weird stuff. Crunchyroll Collection actually put the entire first episode up there. That's weird. Give me the opening, thank you.
Oh, dude, that opening is so hard to find the full version of.
No, as long as I can get the minute and a half.
Yeah, what was it called? Saturday Night Question?
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Saturday Night Question.
Oh.
So, here we go, Neto Jun no Susume.
That was well timed. Woo!
I wanna say it.
What?
What is the thing that Giga always says?
This is a banger? This is a banger! Oh, brilliant. I forget what like the anagram for it was for.
It's just like that, though. And sadly, my efforts were not worth because I tried to look for the full song, but it's not available in our country.
Really? You can always... I bet you someone threw it on SoundCloud or something.
Mm-hmm.
I love how they have the entire opening with a female avatar, despite the fact that thing doesn't come in until like the last 4 episodes.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm all like, oh, you see the male avatar for like a second, which might as well be the main character of the show for the most part.
Oh, dude, yeah.
One interesting thing is, this is obviously one of those animes that they made it to make the original source material more popular.
Oh, yeah.
Due to the fact it was only 10 episodes.
Like Bloodline!
And Konosuba. Except Konosuba got more seasons. So
Shit,
yeah.
was that 10 episodes?
Yeah, I think altogether the show's like 30 episodes and then a movie and some OVAs.
Holy fuck. Where's that treatment with Bloodlet, huh?
I know. Well, that was the thing too. According to Sergio, the manga wasn't even doing too hot either because I think the creator of Bloodlet kind of wanted this to be like, One Piece.
Oh.
Where they just kind of keep going. So like after they fought, the evil creature that was sealed away, that was it. They just wrote an ending where like Fayumi lost their memories and then gets reunited with Stas in the end, where they have to build their relationship from the beginning.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like apparently the whole plan was he wanted this to go long. He wanted this to be like One Piece long, but he just keep making stories with these characters, which is why there's a lot of parts in the manga where you can tell characters are supposed to have bigger roles. And
like the vampire hunters.
The vampire hunters who just kind of disappear and play hostage victims. And then, of course, like, the legendary warriors, the ones who had the highest magic count.
Yeah.
Like, they were supposed to have, like, a lot more things in there, and they're just kind of... They do one thing in the finale, and then, boom, they get into the Fayumi robot. But yeah, it's one of those disappointing things where it's just like, season 1 so good, season 2 never. This one though, similar to Konosuba, again, I've only seen a review for it, not like the whole show yet. I will though. Apparently at one point Konosuba had a thing where they just skipped a bunch of chapters to introduce a new character without actually having the chapter where they met her. She was just there. MMO Junkie did this too.
Yep.
Where suddenly there was like some blonde bunny girl in there, and I'm like, who the fuck is she?
Oh, Nico! Dude, I'm so glad I wasn't the other. I was like, wait a second, like, did I miss something over here? Like, am I missing something? I'm pretty sure I would have recognized this person, because like, for a second I thought it was the other the chick who was like, the vampire one.
Yeah.
But then I was like, no, wait, that can't be right. Because this person acts completely different than and I thought for a second it was Koiwai.
Yeah.
Until like until Hanbe was like Alex and was like, oh, Nico's like, I'm glad to see you again. And I was like, no.
Yeah. When and then when she walks in looking for, what was his name again? Koiwai. Koiwai. There we go. Yeah, and then there was that where she's looking around for that character, and then she just sees her sitting on the bench, and I'm like, oh, is that him? Because he said it was a blonde bombshell, and then it's all like, oh, look, there's Nico. I'm like, who? And they introduce her literally as a title card.
Yep.
Yeah, she's like in the in-between title card, and I'm like, who the fuck is she? And yeah, it's one of those things where they probably were going for more episodes, and they wanted to end at a specific point, but the 10 episodes wouldn't allow them to do that, so they had to skip over... maybe an episode or two just to get us to that ending. No,
and I was doing a little bit of research as well, because apparently for the author for this the creator pretty much for the recovery of an MMO junkie.
Yeah.
I short-circuited there for a second, but apparently like the author was sick for quite a while, so like she couldn't continue this the series for a bit.
Oh.
So like hence like they were probably running out of source material at that point.
And yeah, that makes sense. And they probably just found it better to end it at like a satisfying note. Which, thankfully, it did.
Yes.
And then they threw in an OVA, which I only saw half of it. I was trying to watch the whole thing before I got here. But like, I only saw half of that OVA, and it was adorable. But all I can think of is, you're 28 and 30, and you're acting like goddamn high school kids. Hence, we'll get to that in a bit.
Hence the MMO junkie bit.
Yeah, but it's like both of y'all. I don't know if the show did say no. I'm pretty sure the show did imply that neither of them are virgins, and they're fucking acting like goddamn kids who have never touched another person of the same sex.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah, like you saw the OVA, right?
No.
Really? Oh, well in the...
I didn't even know it existed until you mentioned it to me right now.
Really? You finished the show and literally...
Thrice.
Yes, 3 times. You finished the show 3 times within this week, and you never noticed the title card that flat out says episode 11?
No.
Yeah, there's literally a title card saying next time, episode 11, and episode 11 is the OVA.
Oh, dude, every time before it ended, man, I literally just like, okay, this is good enough, I don't need to go through that again.
Yeah, well, watch that OVA, it's super cute, but it's one of those, oh, I'm in the apartment with him again. Oh, hello. And I'm like, you're fucking 31. Okay, whatever. It's wholesome, it's cute. Let's just rewind everything and start from the beginning. So, Recovery of an MMO Junkie centers on a businesswoman, ex-businesswoman, who just hired... This is oddly appropriate, by the way. Because she was an accountant too, right? If I'm right? Or sales?
One of those things as well. Tangent, going off on a tangent from Gretzko.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm saying it. That was oddly appropriate.
Yeah.
I don't know if you planned that, but from the sound of it, you were kind of hoping the show would like break me the way a Gretzko did. And the show didn't really give me a lot to cling on to, except for the fact that it was one of the most wholesome love stories I've ever seen in anime. But yeah, so it was mainly like every time when something sad happened to them, I would feel sad, but it was never like my friend Daniel, his brother, the one that I just talked to, mentioned earlier about Nier Automata.
Yeah.
He told me that this was his life. This entire anime described his life to a T. And it freaked him out so bad. And I'm like, okay, so if he found it relatable, then I'm pretty sure it'll be relatable to other people. And then I remembered, wait, no, his brother is literally like 32, if I'm right. Mm-hmm. So the brother's old, so the brother was able to fully adult. And is... Oh, I think I finally get it now. Yeah. He probably had a job, quit, and then is now doing his thing. Similar to what she did. Where she had a job, quit, and decided to become a NEET.
Yep.
Which, if you guys don't know...
An elite NEET.
An elite NEET. Which, if you guys don't know, which, I mean, we're directly trying to sell this to you people too. So the fact that you wouldn't know is amazing, but here's to the people who wouldn't know. A NEET is a thing in Japanese culture where it's just a man, a woman, a teenager, who decide not to go and interact with the outside world at all. Mm-hmm. And stay within the confines of the house, but most of the time just a room.
Yeah, and it's actually an acronym for pretty much like not in employment, education, or in training.
There you go.
Pretty much pretty much self-explanatory. Like, you're not going to school, you're not currently working, or you're not preparing to go to work, or like training yourself to go to a different workforce as well.
Yeah.
So literally, like it says, like you're literally just like living, like you're literally just drifting by the sea the whole time, or coasting by, more likely.
Yeah, and she gets into, well, initially first she starts to boot up an MMO she used to play 6 months before the beginning of the series, only to find out that it just closed down.
Oh, dude, that sucks whenever that happens. I remember when that happened to me a lot when I used to play like old, when I used to, my first MMORPG. Now my friend introduced me in high school, and then I go look back at it now. I'm like a couple of years later, it's like, oh, I see they migrated everything to the new one.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of the second one.
What second one?
Oh, look at the game I used to play.
Oh, okay. And then there's yeah, and here's a little bit of fun fact for you. Daniel wanted me to mention this.
There goes Danny again, speaking in first person, third person.
I'm gonna kill you. There's gonna be one day where I'm gonna put on a fedora and just strangle you. The other me is going to get very mad if you keep saying that. Oh yeah, I'm real as you.
Jesus Christ.
God damn it, you're gonna meet him one day. You're gonna meet him and then you're gonna just be doing this the whole time to make sure he's not a hologram.
Danny, I feel like I've met him already. It's just like you just haven't come to terms with it.
God damn. That reminds me of this Junkie story I was reading where this girl had pen pals, but then in the end you realize she was just writing the letters to herself.
Yeah.
And it ends with her stabbing and like maiming herself. That's what's gonna end up happening. There will be no Dan. There will be no more Danny. There will only be Daniel. Yes, there's a difference. That's always been the kind of annoying thing where your best friend has your same name, especially for your parents and his parents. It's just like, Danny, no, not you, goddamn. Other Danny. But
hey, that's the same thing with my sister's boyfriend and my dog, except, you know.
why does he have the same name as a dog?
No, it's just like he has the same nickname because we call him Andy and his name's Andres, but it's like as a kid they used to call him Andy as well, for short.
So your dog's name was Andy?
Yes.
No. But yeah, what Daniel wanted me to mention was he works at Nexon, which if that name sounds familiar, Nexon is the people who are in charge of making MapleStory and Mabinogi.
Oh, MapleStory!
Yeah.
That one's so good too.
And you kind of notice looking at this anime that the game she migrated from was a different version of MapleStory, or at least a game heavily inspired by MapleStory.
Yeah, with the Mar.
Yeah, and no, the game she migrated from.
Yeah, the chibi style and everything.
Yeah, and Fruits de Mar, the game she went to, is heavily inspired by Mabinogi.
Mm-hmm.
Even to the point that when MMO Junkie came out, Mabinogi had an event where you would be able to see those characters in game. And
that was my scream of disappointment. Now that I found out about
that was terrifying. But there's even a part, and I think I took the screenshot for Daniel.
Little bit of story about me. Aside from like all the other nonsense that I do that in real life and everything, I always have to get busy. One of the best things that always gets me hooked onto a lot of things is in-game events that are exclusive for games and is tangible to other things in real life.
Right.
So for me, whenever anything that's for me is like pretty much one of the defining moments for a game and me. If anything, is whenever they have something that makes it unique for themselves, like MMO Junkie saying that Avatar showed up for this game that apparently was like that I did not know about. They was heavily referencing because I got the MapleStory one like right off the bat. I was like, oh, I see. This was a pretty good game back in high school for me as well.
Yeah, and it's still going with like a shit ton of iterations,
and especially with the second one now.
Mm-hmm. And then we have this. This is the game my friend works on specifically, Mabinogi. This is actually a poster that was in the game during the scene where she ends up finding out that one of the store clerks is one of the people in her guild.
Oh yeah, Kanbe-san.
Yeah, so they end up they end up shilling out Mabinogi and Fruits de Mar. The more you look at Fruits de Mar, the more similar it is to Mabinogi. So that was one of the interesting things he told me. And it was funny when I'm just watching this anime and yeah, you just see like a poster for it in the game. But yeah, they did a lot of interesting things for it. He was on an April Fool. Look, if anyone ends up finding this video, he's not gonna want me to say it, but I think a lot of you guys will probably figure out that I'm talking about Fedora Dan. Who...
Danny, how many personas do you have at this point?
Fedora Dan is the only persona, thank you. But no, Fedora Dan is basically... he became really big amongst the people within the Mabinogi community, so they've been memeing the fuck out of him.
Oh.
And yeah, they know him specifically as Fedora Dan. So if any of those Mabinogi people walk up, I am referring to Fedora Dan, who I've known for wait, is it 10 years? No, I've known him for 14 years already. So leave me alone. Because apparently his fans they like hounding people to find any source of actual information on him.
So you're making yourself a target now.
Exactly. I'll be editing this part out.
Oh my god, but like checking it out as well, like pretty much going back to everything, like going back to the game and everything and how it ties down to the whole show. It's like pretty much for me, this is like something that was that I find, this was something that I actually found a little bit close to home.
Mm-hmm.
Just because for me, like the only reason I ever started like MMOs in the first place was because of a friend who invited me to it. Well, my very first friend when I moved to high school, because it was a really weird system where like the juniors and the seniors were apparently combined. So it was 7th to 12th graders all in one campus.
Oh yeah, I've been in that.
So it was literally just me, all hairless and shit, like already like with a bunch of guys who looked like apes and everything. And I was like, fuck, I'm like, what is this?
Oh, what are they gonna do to me?
And I was like, oh, so this is where that notion "don't drop the soul" comes in.
And this is what prison's like.
Exactly. Except there's older people. Oh no, it literally is just like prison.
Yeah.
Except everybody for sure guaranteed somebody's older than you.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about the MMORPGs when I first started as well is like I was unfamiliar with the concept of it. So I was kind of in Koi White shoes where I was like, oh, I've heard about those before, but I've never really played them.
Yeah.
So when I first got invited to it and everything, and then because my friend helped me create my account and everything, he's literally the kind of guy is like when he gets a newbie, he's pretty much just like Sakurai. He's like, oh, here's some new items and everything. Like here, if you need any help, like I'll quest with you so I can help you build you up and everything.
Yeah.
That's currently what my friend's trying to do with me right now in Monster Hunter.
The closest I've ever gotten to that was when I played this iPhone game, I think it's still going too, called World of Magic, where that one, like, I went in, and I actually found my own Lily, and again, we'll go back to the anime so that reference can make sense, but I flat out just ran into a girl who was looking for this item, so I just decided to help her look for the item, and then me and her spent like a whole day of me fighting enemies that were like a few levels higher than me while she was just constantly healing me. Yeah,
okay.
That's it. Yeah. It's funny because I never got to like the really intense levels, but like I hear that the higher you get in the game, the more crazier the magic and like the levels get.
Oh shit.
Like I went into an arena, which they reminded me not to go into, but I went in anyway, and literally you just see like fireballs exploding and like people making entire pillars of ice similar to Todoroki. Oh, I'm like, Jesus Christ, what level are these guys? They're like, yeah, those are like level 13 dudes. I'm like, I'm level 6, and I'm, what the fuck?
Those skill trees escalate, man.
Right. I'll never forget when I played Monster Hunter Warriors, and I kept getting my ass kicked, and I'm like, why am I so weak? I'm like level 20 right now. I found out there was a skill tree, and I had no idea there were skill trees in that game because they didn't really tell me, mainly because I was skipping through all of that. And as soon as I peeked up those skill trees, my freaking guys are like immediately like the fucking One Punch Man heroes. They were like mowing down hordes of enemies and stuff, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I feel stupid.
Oh, dude, that was being epic battle fantasy. I struggled so much with like the first boss. I was like, fuck it, this is the first boss, and I'm playing it on casual too. And it wasn't until like later in the story when I've had to fight a fucking giant squid, I was like, I don't even have electric based attacks on it. Oh, there's a skill tree.
Oh, look at this withered dying tree. Oops, I've been neglecting it. So basically, what's the main girl's name in the show again?
Morioka Moriko.
Ooh, oh, Mori.
Mori-chan has IOO, as Koi Wai would call her.
Yeah, so Mori decides to move into this new game called Fruits de Mer, which she decides to play as a male avatar. Goes in and like immediately starts doing things on her own, dies multiple times, and I love that whole on-running joke that she dies to a giant hamster thing, and then you just see people like standing over her body saying rest in peace.
It's like, oh man.
Yeah. So like the more she dies, the more people accumulate. But all I could think about when she was fighting that hamster thing was, is that the thing from Overlord?
Oh yeah,
his hamster monster.
The little because of Hamsuke that you met and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that was a funny moment as well because like one of the things that she was when she because again, the game that she used to play, which was like a Grandeur SG or SD or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it was something that she really found like a lot of solace in as well because it was like one of those games that pretty much kept her like a little bit more details later, but it kept her intact and everything. It was like kind of her like her way to relax without being lonely and everything.
Yeah, and she ended up even finding a person who would just sit down and listen to her.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna get there, people.
Such a good person too.
So she ends up in. So this character's a warrior class that she's playing as. So she ends up running into this support mage called Lily, who is super fucking adorable. And
I hope you didn't do any digging around for smut for that one.
No, I couldn't bring myself to. Okay. I mean, Mori was fucking hot, but she was too pure for me to think, I would only do this segment just because I know you'd hate it, but at the same time, I'd hate it, so I'm not doing the segment this time. I'm not gonna do the Is There Smut segment.
Oh god.
I don't want to see it. These characters are too pure. But she, especially since I can imagine a lot of NTR.
Oh,
There's a wee bit of NTR in the show. Just a wee bit. Not hard enough for Ben, though. Ben would not approve of this NTR. It's not hard enough for him.
No, because this is a wholesome kind of NTR, but at the same time, it was planned.
Yeah, it was NTR that was like... it was planned NTR.
Which, by the way, I'll describe it better, but what happened is kind of like, what my friend was pretty much trying to do with me as well.
Really?
I just never read the message in time. I was literally just like Sakura. I was like, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah, and just be like, I'm doing this for you, idiot. So, and so she ends up meeting this person, and after like healing up and becoming friends with each other, we find out that Lily is more or less a solo player. No, she...
In a guild.
Yeah, she's in a very tiny guild, but she used to be in other guilds, but since her character was so cute, like the otaku man would love her, and it created some cattiness within the guild.
Yep.
But like a girl said, I used to partner up with our guild leader all the time until you showed up. Maybe you should just get out of here. And she realized that, man, I'm here to be low down, kick back and chill. I just want to play the goddamn game. I'm trying to stay away from all this toxicity. So,
which, by the way, it's accurately represented in the game when they mentioned that. Like, dude, that does happen a lot, man.
That does happen. And like, there's a thing about Lily. That's all we'll say for now. There's a thing about Lily, but there is a reason why certain people will play as certain people. But... which, that's one of the more interesting things. So Mori is obviously playing a male companion. I find that really weird how they kind of make that as like a, no, that's a no.
Well, for her, it's kind of like it's actually more or less like something that she sets up for herself, if anything, because one of the things about Mori is that she's really self-aware about what people think about her, if anything. Like, everything whatever she does, she's really self-conscious about, if anything. And that's pretty much one of the things that she was building up as her personality, is like, she's a self-conscious woman. She's somebody who's like, not very sociable on the real world, but in the game, like, she can feel like she can be for herself, because she kind of needs that mask to be able to have the confidence to talk to anybody else as well. And it's fun. It's really funny when you mention the thing about Lily, because that's actually one of the things my research lab was researching about. Because one of the things that the lab focuses on is pretty much online game culture. And one of the aspects, pretty much what you were describing of here, is pretty much like the white knighting of like of the different female characters, if anything. So like, people don't even have to know whether you're male or female. Like, if somebody like, say for example, like somebody like a veteran in a game or something, and they find somebody who's like adorable or cute character or like a well-designed character, they'll pretty much go through what's called like a white knighting process, where they're like, like, oh, I gotta protect this person. Like, this is somebody I want to legit protect and guide and everything. So it's kind of, it shows you kind of like this sort of like bias as well, and like it happens more with like female characters than like male characters. Like Lily and Hayashi were like kind of different, just because there's a little interesting thing that goes on with them right there. But more about that later. Yeah. But it is an actual phenomenon that happens in real life gaming.
Hence why a lot of female players don't actually play as females. Again, an anime that I don't think we'd ever talk about, probably like in passing, but like Nitoge, which I forget what the actual English name for it is.
It's just an online game. Nitoge is online game.
Oh, okay. Well,
unless you want to go for more darker things.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I'm referring to that anime where the guy, where the guy had an experience where he hit on a girl and it was like a dude. So he decided to come up with a thing where there are no men on the internet. There are no girls on the internet. And then he ends up finding like a girl in game who becomes like his waifu. Oh. But his two guild mates, who are very attractive girls in real life, are actually male, they're male characters, because, they're like, man, do you realize how, like, harassed we'd get if we told everyone that we're a freaking girl? I mean, her alone is always getting harassed by guys.
I know. And this is the thing, man, because one of the things about online gaming as well is, like, really interesting. Like, again, it's like pretty much like nobody knows who you really are and everything, so you could really play off a bunch of things as well. And you can like live out your own fantasy or anything, play out certain situations or whatever you want as well. So it's kind of one of those interesting things where like anything and everything can and will happen. Literally it's literally a substitute isekai for people who want to get into it.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe one day you will find yourself in a situation where you're playing a computer-based game and then find yourself stuck in it. Log Horizon.
Dude, that's gonna be me when like once VR actually gets to the point where it's kind of like sort of online level.
You're gonna be the one to create the glitch that puts everyone in that situation. If you take the helmet off, your bait's gonna get microwaved.
Dude, and that's the thing, man, as well. Because like this is literally one of those things where like when I first started MMORPGs, it's like it's like I would start playing as male characters and everything because like that's what I thought was the norm.
Yeah.
And then I discovered my first catfish, which was again one of my friends.
Yeah.
So I was literally, because like when I first started, I was like, hey, yeah, it's like one of your friends is pretty helpful and everything. It was like literally gave me a bunch of nice items and everything. He's like saying, oh, that's me. I was like, the fuck?
Yeah. But yeah, like going back to the game, one of the cute things and interesting things is there seems to be a borderline lesbian relationship kicking in. Well, like Mori, well, like first of all, it's Lily who's starting it. Lily's the one becoming like distant and like. And like talking, like talking to the other and having like these very sweet moments and even getting kind of sensitive that Mori's starting to become friends with like the other players more.
Yeah. And
Mori is like feeling a little left out. And of course, like, not Mori, Lily. Mori wants to like look for this high rare like crystal rose to give to Lily.
Oh yeah, because one of the things, because like because like one of the things, this is funny about give and take relationships, is like it never ends. It always escalates. Like, oh, here, I give you this. Like, oh, I have to give you something in return. It's like, now I have to give you something in return.
And it all started on a Christmas, like a Christmas event, and it's like, you guys are exchanging gifts. That's okay. Stop trying to one up the other.
I know,
but it's so fucking adorable. Like I gotta give it that. I saw this dubbed, and the dub is good. And there's some characters I wish that were. There are some characters I felt were played a little bit more deadpan than they should have. But like similar to Major Sprite, the main characters are the ones that were like doing the best. So of course, Lily and what was the male avatar name?
Hayashi.
Hayashi. The voice actors for Hayashi and Lily were great, and then of course Mori and the other person was great. But they and note, I forgot their name. I wasn't trying to keep it a secret. I just forgot their name.
I know their name. He will forever be ingrained as one of the best characters I've met.
Yeah.
That and his friend Koiwai.
Yes, Koiwai is a treasure. And Koiwai was actually voiced by the dude who played Space Dandy's voice.
Hey!
So like, I almost immediately loved him. I'm like, all I hear is fucking Space Dandy in this dub, and I love it.
The personality matches too.
Right? So, God, I love what they do with that character later too. But, it is weird, and note that like, Mori is kind of finding it weird because she is kind of like, is there some ulterior motive going on? Is Lily like pushing some ulterior motive on me? I mean, I don't know why I'm getting so nervous because, she's a girl. Is she even into that?
I know, because one of the things that you discover over here as well is kind of like, again, Mori's kind of like this person who's always self-conscious and everything. Whenever something happens, she really reads into it a lot. Just because she can't help but to figure out like, oh, it's like, what's going on? Like, am I being kind of like, am I being too much of a burden on somebody? Or like, is this like something like, am I intruding too much? So like, she can always never help but like always try to like read into situations a lot more than they probably should. Yeah,
she's a very self-conscious person, and which is why you kind of notice she's at her happiest when she's alone because she doesn't have to worry about anything.
Mm-hmm. Oh, when she first started off, like, when playing the game by herself.
Mm-hmm.
And then, again, like, once she, like, got introduced to guildmates and everything, again, interesting situation because, like, she's not used to, like, talking to people all the time like that in huge groups. But slowly over time, it's like, again, like, the guildmates do pretty much what, like, all guildmates do. They pretty much, like, make her very comfortable over time and everything, and she starts to realize, like, oh, these are actually pretty chill people and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And even gets to meet a couple in real life. I think for me, my favorite guildmates from those two were Pokotora and Lilik.
Which is the Cross Player and the fat guy, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
I
they
knew
were my
it.
favorite. Dude, the fact that they're married in real life as well, I was like, oh, this makes it so much better. This makes this opening so much more sense.
And then there would be, and then you have that adorable thing where like one will, they'll like occasionally swap accounts. So suddenly they're both male. So like the fat avatar will start sounding more like womanly, and they're like, are you on his account again? God, I hate when you guys do that.
He's like, I know you guys are married in real life, but there should be a rule against that.
Yeah. No rules between them, but I also do find it funny how they are, you know, they have a common bond there, even to the point where she doesn't get mad at the fact that he's like, yeah, I'm 3 hours away from my home, so I just decided to take a break and stop at an internet cafe. Oh. And she's like, you do remember that there's people at home waiting for you, right? But she was okay with it. She was just kind of reminding him, and I'm like, that is so fucking adorable.
I know, that relationship was like one of the best as well. And again, one of the things, because like one of the things that the guildmates keep telling each other as well is like they're always, even though like, you know, like there's not somebody who's like who can be there in real life for them as well, like they're always more than happy to hear her out. The only thing that, especially what Kanbe-san says, like if anything, is like don't get to the point where like you start asking her for real life advice though.
Yeah, and if I'm right, Kanbe knows about Lily, right? Because I could have sworn there was a part where they were messaging each other.
Yes, but I don't think he knows exactly who Lily is. Yeah. He just knows that, like what's going on with her.
Yeah, that I was able to get that much because remember that there was that whole scene where he saw both of them, and he would just be like, I have no idea what's going on between these two. What's happening here? Yeah. But moving back to the real world, Mori realizes that she's hungry and is kind of low on supplies. Yeah. So she decides to go out, and at that exact same moment, we are focusing on a glasses boy. Who... Not
a glasses girl for once.
I know. It's so refreshing. Poor glasses girls are being so over-fetishized in this video. But now it's our turn. No, now it's your turn. There we go.
Oh, because I'm the only one who wears glasses?
Yeah. I should wear glasses, but they're mainly for protection, so I keep forgetting I need them.
No, I'm chilling.
Yeah. Well, like literally one lens is meant to like help this kind of see, but they mainly just care about like if I get hit in the eyes, the glasses will take the hit first. That's all they care about. So so they end up having a small run-in where they both wanted the same piece of chicken, but then the glasses boy is like, oh no, you take it. Yeah. And it's funny because they play off that whole joke where like her stomach is ringing so loud that like everyone can hear it. So she thought it was like super embarrassing because one, people heard how fucking hungry she was, and then two, she felt like she stole the piece from the guy.
Yeah, dude, she just her being overly conscientious about it as well. Yeah. And then the funny thing about it is like, this is one of those times because she was buying one of the cards from like Flute de Mar, and that's when like the store clerk like notices about it as well, but doesn't get the chance to ask her about it just because she leaves in a hurry afterwards.
Yeah, and there's also like another one where she comes back and he asks her, but then she gets like, he gets interrupted by her boss.
Yeah, but yeah, it's like one of those things again. It's like one of this like this is like one of those shows where like coincidence plays a huge role.
Yeah, even to the point where the characters are like, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah. Well, it's not an anime.
Exactly. And it's pretty funny. It's like one of those things like it's pretty funny because it just really goes to show you just how small the world really is. Just because like everybody like pretty much like once you see like everybody in their real life thing and in their real life work habits and everything, like you get to see like what they do on a day-to-day basis and kind of see like what more about them as well. Because again, the game only shows you so much about their personalities, whereas like compared to like the real life version, like Kanbe, for example. Kanbe, I think, is pretty much one of the best examples for this. Because when he's in the game and everything, he's pretty much a guild leader. pretty like kind of like one of those guys like always speaks his mind and everything. He's like not afraid to like tell you like what's up and stuff like so. Like he's really strong spoken, pretty much.
Yeah, and also the reason he's guild leader is because the initial guild leader was kind of disappointed that the guild was so small that he was about to disband it, and then he's like, no, pass the leadership on to me. Mainly because we don't want to lose all those guild points we racked up. Well, what was it? It was like the guild experience.
The guild experience, yeah, because like the guy who used to be the previous guild leader, he got a new job, so he wasn't gonna be able to continue the game anymore.
Yeah, and he was really put off by the fact that they weren't a super big guild.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those are the kind of guilds when I eventually do start getting into online gaming. Because my brother's talking about getting an Xbox One again, and I kind of want to play Black Desert.
Ooh.
So, when that eventually happens, I'm all for joining like a 5-man, guild. And if it gets bigger, oh well. But I don't gotta be in those massive guilds because, as an online gamer, you would always run into like party teams on like Call of Duty where they would all have like the same. Like little tag signifying that they were together.
Yeah.
And I've been in those, and when you're in those massive ones, they're no fun because those people literally start shooting you like a military. It's weird. Again, online gaming is a weird place that I think one day, if a gaming show ever gets made, we'll talk about it.
Nah, I think for me, one of the fun parts about guild parties as well is pretty much like, every time I always join a guild party, there's always somebody I know in there anyways.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's pretty much one of those things like, oh hey, like I have somebody to guide me and everything, and then everybody else I just get used to knowing as well. And it's always so fun, especially when I started doing voice chatting and everything.
Yeah.
Those were always the fun times.
Yeah, I never really met people my age though. I kept running into like those elementary school students. This was back when I was barely starting high school. And I'm like, this is super fucking awkward. So like most of the time I'd just be like silent and wouldn't say anything. And I'd just hear like these kids with like baby voices. And I'm like, I'm just playing with them because they're not bad players. And I'm not interacting with any of them. So only like 2 of them who were like about to go to middle school actually knew how old I was.
Oh wow.
But they were like, oh whatever. I'm like, yeah, can you not tell the others? They're like, oh no, I already texted everyone while you were telling us. I'm like, you little bitch. But yeah, moving back to the anime though, how about you take it over from here? I'm getting fuzzy.
Yeah. But pretty much like moving back to it as well, like the guild meets are important because like I mentioned earlier, like you find out like a lot of them are pretty much a lot closer to each other than they know. Again, Kanbe-san, the guild leader, he's pretty much the guy who works at the convenience store that Morioka usually goes to buy her food and everything.
Yeah.
And it was one day when he calls her out and everything, is like said like, hey, like I was like, not to intrude or anything, but do you happen to like play a game called Fruits de Mar?
Yeah. And then it's like, what server are you on? This server? Oh, that's crazy. You know what would be even weirder if we knew each other? My online name is... And then she's just like, whoa!
Yeah, when she finds out that's Kanbe.
Yeah.
And one of those things again, because Kanbe, if anything, like, despite his, like, the confident attitude and everything on the web, he's good at keeping secrets and everything. Like, if he knows it's something that he doesn't want, that other people don't want to know about the other person, he's more than willing to keep a secret or 2 for them.
Yeah, and he's not forbidding it, but he's kind of put a light ban on dating.
Yeah.
Because it would complicate things between the guild and possibly split the guild in half, which is a thing that commonly happens.
Yep. Dude, this happened in like Immortal Hounds as well.
Immortal Hounds?
Yeah, the little manga I gave you, let you read for a little bit.
Oh, did one of the guys turn traitor?
No, literally, like that was like one of the things about Immortal Hounds, because like there was this one girl who pretty much like who had this disease that pretty much like that prevented people from like like reviving again.
Yeah.
And like literally the way she would get people like she would get people is like she would always target people who would play MMOs. And then like she started acting like friendly and everything. Like, they would treat her as the cheerleader of the group, and then eventually, like one at a time, like she'd go on dates with people from there, like pretty much taking away their immortality. To the point where like when the police investigation started and like they found out that everybody's been dating this girl, like the one guy who didn't was kind of felt left out. I was like, why them? Why not me?
I gotta get on that manga again. I keep seeing it. I really liked it. I just haven't got on it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, and then again, it's one of those games. Again, it's like this is like for me. I feel like if anything, for the longest time, it's kind of like one of those unspoken rule kind of things in online gaming, where it's kind of like it's like it's good to be friendly and all, but like sometimes like you just don't want to get too into each other or like too what's it called? Too involved. There you go. Mm-hmm. Just because again, you don't know who they are. This is somebody that you met online and everything, pretty much as good as a stranger, if anything. So it's somebody that like, you kind of like you still want to keep your you still want to keep a little bit of your airs to yourself. Just because again, it might cause drama in the guild, or like it might make one person more uncomfortable to play the game like to others as well. It pretty much makes the game a little bit too much to real life at that point, which nobody wants in the game. Mm-hmm. And so that's why that's why for Kanbei he was always on the air, like, all right then, but just remember, even though this game does have a partnering system and everything, don't get too involved with each other and everything. Although it was more just kind of like a warning rather than just kind of like he just bans it all together.
Yeah, because people will probably know, and he knows, if you do that, then it's not fun. No one wants to be in a guild where rules are in there. Mm-hmm. You put too much rules on some. It's okay to have a level of rules, but if you make too much rules there, and the rules are very unfair, you could go on to do the very thing that the rules were set out to not do, and that was cause your entire empire to fall apart. So he doesn't want to destroy the entire guild with bogging it down with rules, but he does want them to keep in mind that I'd rather you not do that. Yeah. But if you do it, just be ready for anything.
Yeah. Which is where the romance starts to develop and everything.
Mm-hmm. And again, like Kanbei knows, like we'll go on and say it now. Lily is the mysterious glasses boy.
Yeah, Sakurai-chan.
Yeah, there you go, Sakurai, who decided to make that account because after the other MMO shut down, another MMO he was playing shut down, he decided to just like move on and be another character who, rather instead of like having a character that was bogged down with all his feelings, this is going to be an easy, carefree, happy character. Mm-hmm. To kind of combat like the actual toughness in his own life. And
yeah, because at the time when he first started the game, this is pretty much where like his adoptive parents died.
Oh shit.
That was the funeral.
Right. Yeah, I remember now. Oh god, I can't believe I forgot that detail.
So for him, like he pretty much went into like an episode where he was like kind of like sad and lonely because even though like his grandparents were like like apparently they were well made off and everything, that had a really big house and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But the thing for him is like the big house only made him feel lonelier just because like he had nobody else to share it with or anything. It was literally just him. He always felt as an outsider because he had blonde hair and everything, so people kind of saw him as a foreigner. Yeah. And the fact that he was adopted kind of makes it like more one of those things like people would always like talk behind your back kind of things. Yeah. So he eventually he ended up selling up the house not only because he felt lonely, not only because it was hard for him to maintain it by himself, but also because he felt lonely and so he got something smaller and decided to get into MMOs. Yeah. Same reason for why Morioka did it. Just so like they can find a way to like kind of escape from reality and just kind of like enjoy being alone without actually being alone, without actually feeling lonely.
Yeah, and at the point when she was at that little Maple Story type game, mm-hmm. she had been wanting to quit her job, but her job would keep getting these new recruits that she would then be stuck having to train mm-hmm. and never really have an opportunity where she felt confident enough to leave. Mm-hmm.
And then pretty much like all the time, like one of the things is like she'd always try to appear chipper and everything in the game, but in real life she'd really be suffering. Especially once we see when Koiwa invites her out for a date, like on an outing. Yeah. Because like this is where like the whole like this is a really small world. Like the online game may be vast, but the world is truly a small place. Because the only reason why Koiwa asks her out and why even like they know about it is because when Sakurai first met Morioka is when he bumped into her around the corner. Yeah. Like usually.
No, that was the actual meeting. The first ever little encounter was the convenience store.
No, yeah, but I'm talking about like the actual meeting. Like,
okay.
Like the actual meeting, like when they actually got to talk to each other more, is when he bumped into her.
Elbowed her. There's a difference between bumping and just like, yeah.
Yeah, because he was on his phone, so he ended up elbowing her in her face. And so he got worried and took her to a hospital. So he was trying to talk to her. He was trying. Once they left and everything and exchanged numbers because again he wanted to apologize for what he did. He started to talk to Koiwa about her. And then when he mentioned her, Koi was like, wait a second, what if her name happened, what if chance happened, her name happened to be like, Morioka Moriko-san? He's like, yeah. I was like, how did you know? I was like, so it's Mori-Mori-chan. It's like, what?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. It's like, I remember there used to be a girl in a different company, like I think it was like a partner company.
Yeah.
That used to talk to us a lot, in accounting, or was it like I think it was accounting.
Yeah, but basically, whatever firm he was the one that had to interact with her the most because he was the one directly corresponding between the two companies.
Mm-hmm.
And he, of course, because Kowai is just, he is a horn dog, but he's also a good bro.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, after they met, after Sakurai and Mori met, he tried to slyly ask her out.
Yeah.
But then she turned him away because, again, she was nervous and just decided, you've already paying for my medical bill and, the chicken. I've taken too much from you, so I'd rather not take any more.
Yeah.
And he was bummed out, so the guy, Kowai sees her coming out of the convenience store and just decides to, bully her into going out with him?
Yeah, pretty much. Because one of the things about Koiwa is again, he's one of those guys. He's really one of those lovable guys you can't hate.
Yeah.
And then once you figure out his motive and everything, it's kind of like, wow, I feel kind of like an ass thinking this guy was pretty horrible.
Yeah, and when I mean bully, I really mean not mean bully, but
just tease her playfully.
Yeah, teasing her and not giving her any out. Mm-hmm. It's like, what about this weekend? No, I'm free. Well, what about next? And if not, we can just keep trying the other weekends. And she's like, crap, he's not giving me any opportunity to back up. And of course, he gets her number and sets up a date. And of course, he's gloating at first to Sakurai, saying, oh yeah, I already have a date with her, haha. But I am setting all this up for you, so if you want to go, you can.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that he always emphasizes with him as well, because the thing with Sakurai is, he's one of those guys that you just can't help feel bad about. It's like, yeah, this is such a good guy, but god damn, it would have helped to have a little more confidence with him.
Yeah.
Too relatable there.
Yeah, what the real title of this show is Just Fuck Already. The animated series. But yeah, he is a very, pure, likable character. Which is usually tends to be the thing with a lot of these friendships, is you'll have a person who's super subdued and quiet, and then they have the big loud friend.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that is very interesting that ends up happening is Mori starts feeling nervous about her date, and one interesting thing is, I thought those whole eyebrow things were just like a character design of her. Mm-hmm. I didn't really know that was actually the artist trying to make her look dumpy.
Yeah, because one of the things that she always ever since she quit her job, if anything, is she just stopped taking care of herself a little bit more, just because she realized I don't have to go to a company job anymore. I don't have to keep up my appearances anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So she stopped doing her eyebrows and everything. She no longer wore makeup. Her hair, she really let her hair grow up long and everything as well.
Mm-hmm.
So when she got invited out for the first time, she was really nervous because again, she hasn't done this in a while.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh my god, it's she still has her mascara and everything, but she's just wondering if she even still had her touch or not.
Yeah, and she does, even without the giant makeover, because I love me some plain women. You're just like, what?
No, for me what got her was her little mole.
Yeah.
The little one underneath the mouth?
I would keep forgetting it was a mole, and I just thought it was a speck that just fell on the screen. So I'd keep doing this until I see it moving, and I'm like, oh, it's a part of her, okay. Never make a Tomy anime, people, because that's just going to be me the whole time. Actually, make a Tomy anime, but make sure it's not fucking Dean doing it.
Oh, man.
One day. When you just talk about fucking disasters. Yeah.
Oh god, that literally just went out of nowhere. It's I just have to get this out of my chest.
I'm thinking stop talking, what does this have to do with the show? No, fuck you, Studio D. I swear, if you fuck up goddamn, Seven Deadly Sins, there will be hell to pay. You will get strongly worded emails that I will not make completely threatening because I don't want. There's probably a lot of poor anime studios that are on high alert right now. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm gonna send you this super eye patchful video talking about the Junkie anime, and he was pointing out problems that even I didn't notice, like in image that it was not properly cropped in the shot. So in the bottom you just see the bottom of the image. Oh yeah. Like imagine it just being poorly photoshopped.
Oh okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, she does have a very cute design on to her, and one of the interesting things that happens is in the video game world, Hayashi goes to Lily and starts telling her about this woman, because a lot of people think that Hayashi is actually a college male.
Yep.
And he's like, oh yeah, I ran into this woman, she elbowed me in the face, I woke up in the hospital with an IV in my arm, and she paid for the bills and then asked me out. And then I ended up running into this other woman who I used to work with who pushed me into going out. And on the other end, Sakurai's like, wait.
He's connecting the dots, right? Yeah. He's beginning to connect the dots and everything. And at that point, that's pretty much where it's like, at that point... This is the thing that makes me laugh about Sakurai a lot, but at the same time it's kind of like, oh, why are you doing this?
You're so dense.
Not dense, but rather like he's just a doofus.
Yeah.
Because after a while, once he starts figuring out it's Morioka, he starts pretty much doing it's funny because Koya calls him out as well. It's like, so when are you gonna stop stalking her and actually ask her out or something?
Yeah. That was one thing I wanted to touch on is how okay, mind you. I'm guilty of doing that not that long ago either. So what he would do is, he's like, okay, so I've seen her at that convenience store one time, so he keeps going to that convenience store hoping to run into her again.
So he would buy the same lunch and everything like that as well?
Yeah, even to the point where the people are like, wow, we have a lot of regular customers now. There's that cute girl that walks in and then that other handsome guy that walks in. and of course, Sakurai's like, no, I'm not doing that at all. But what ends up happening is Mori ends up getting the dates confused.
Yeah, which for me, I was wondering, I was like, how? And I was like, oh, and she even mentioned it was like, it's been so long since I've had to keep track of the days of the week. I forgot to even keep track of a simple day.
Yeah, so she ends up going to meet him, but Sakurai's like, wait, the date's tomorrow, you're out of town, so he goes on the game and realizes, oh yeah, Hayashi's not here, so that must mean this really is Mori, so I'm gonna run offline and meet her in the real world in his place.
And which almost did not happen because he kept doubting. He's like, no way, this is way too much of a coincidence.
Yeah.
But thank God he listened to the what if part. He's like, but what if she's already waiting for him and everything?
Mm-hmm.
And that was funny because when Mori was waiting for Koiwei the whole time, she was just thinking like, what if I was making a fool? But so she was imagine oh, you thought I was being serious? I was just giving you lip service.
Yeah.
So she was really started to think about it. Oh, what if he was just playing around with me, or what if I just was confusing something here?
Yeah. And then I love when they call him to let him know what's happening, and he's all like, oh, did you get the dates confused? Oh, you're just so excited to meet me that you couldn't contain yourself.
Oh my god, but that was a really sweet moment with him as well. He was like, alright then, well, it's because Koiwei really did him Sakurai a huge favor there, because he was like, alright, can you pass me to Mori? He was like, can you please just treat my friend out and everything as well? I'm pretty sure he just ran all the way to meet you over there anyways.
Yeah.
So it's you think you can just make it up to him by treating him out or something?
Yeah, and they do, and it works out. But again, Mori has no idea that he's Lily, and by this point, Sakurai's just like, yeah, this is Hayashi.
Holy shit, man, I just realized.
What?
Jonathan would love this character a lot.
Why?
Sakurai. Nintendo?
Oh, yeah. resident Nintendo bitch. I still loved fucking with him. Like every time a new game would come out that I wasn't buying for the Nintendo, I'd just be like, alright guys, I'm gonna go and buy a real game, and he's like, fuck you. But now I'm more of, man, I've mainly been playing, aside from Gravity Rush, I've mainly been playing my Switch. Also, by the way, people, play fucking Gravity Rush. I wish that this first game wasn't a download only, or else I'd lend it to you. Yeah.
Nah. Right now, I'm just saving up for like the Azure Lane game that they're having in 2020 for the PS4.
Ooh. I wonder how that's gonna be. But also, now we're entering the, hey, a shit ton of games are coming out now.
Yep.
Remedy, the Alan Wake people are making a game next week, and then the Friday we leave, or like, you know, the Friday we're already in San Jose, we're going to, the Astral Chain comes out, and I've already said I'm gonna look for like any place that would probably sell it. But yeah, it's gonna be a crowded season. Anyway, back to video games. One of the things that there's not much significance that happens from this point on, except now that like, and
now that Sakurai knows who like about Hayashi and Morioka, and now that he's had like an actual like proper like, I wouldn't say date, but kind of like just an outing with her, if anything, that as well. This is the part that like really gets to me as well, because it reminds me of me, like the shit I would do as well, and I'm like, fuck, this is hurting me. This is like literally just like giving me a mirror to like my high school life in general. Oh. Because he would always literally do this thing that I would do. It was like, alright, I've had my meeting with her, but like now I've got to make it up to her. It's like, okay, Koi Wai-san's the one who's approached her and everything. I gotta give it the fact that he's the one that already struck first before I do, so I gotta just get it out of my mind and think like, okay, I'm not gonna get myself involved with her any further anymore. Like she's already got somebody. Even though he's like already giving up before something started, which made me scream out loud, cause like, that was me!
And the idiot flat out told you, and the dude flat out told that idiot, hey, I'm doing this for you, I'm setting up this entire thing for you, now I'm just going on the date so she doesn't think she got stood up or something. And
that was a good thing about Koi Wai as well, because it really did require a lot of pushing for him, and if it weren't for the fact that Sakurai got drunk and everything, he would probably that would have been a good scene later on. I'll tell you about it later.
Yeah.
But he really did mean well and everything as well, like hence all the teasing and everything, because the whole time Koi was trying to push Sakurai in his own way, which is pretty much like, okay, maybe I can get him jealous enough to the point where he'll actually finally take action or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty much get him to man up, which is what Rui should have done. You can take it from here, I'm just gonna self-implode at this rate.
Who the fuck is Rui? Okay, you know what, I'll just, I'll leave that there.
No, the maid Rui. Lise.
Oh, okay. I will...
That was first person right there.
You can open that up when you want. You can open that up. I'll just take us the other way real quick.
Go over it.
So guys, please mind that my heavy breathing and fast pedaling as I am doing everything to avoid this kind of rooms. Nah, it's fine. Wow. Yeah, I did not... So we'll put a pause right now. I did not have any sort of personal connection like I did with Agretsuko, to this anime. I literally just took this as like a cute little anime that, of course, was kind of infuriating at times, because it's like, come on, just fuck already. He's handing you her on a silver platter and you're too pure to get it. But,
I think the word you're looking for is stupid.
Stupid. Well, I don't know. But it is fascinating actually watching you literally break down right now. Where you went from talking about the character to immediately talking about yourself. So yeah, I really do gotta give it that this is kind of what Animazing was kind of built on. It's the fact that I wanted to take this medium that for the entire life, and I'm one of those people too, I'm guilty too. For all my life, I keep hearing that, anime's kind of dumb, I don't get it, you know, there's no anime is whatever. And of course I was one of those people. It wasn't until Attack on Titan that kind of turned me around where I'm like, fuck, American cartoons have sucked for such a long time, except for the odd gem here and there. But anime does shit like this. So it is cool that, you know, when you do start watching anime, you will start finding things that will correlate directly towards you. They will speak directly to you. For me, the one that did that was, in fact, a silent voice, which is why I'm kind of hypercritical about the movie. That's one of the reasons why I don't think that movie's a masterpiece. I think the manga's a fucking phenomenon. But the movie, for me, just missed a lot of the things that worked in that manga for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, going back to the show.
I think I cooled down enough.
Okay, good. Mori ended up... by this point, Mori and Sakurai are just friends. And...
No.
What?
Yeah.
Sorry, not Sakurai, my bad. Mori and Kowai are just friends.
Yes.
And he downloads Fruits Demand to play with him. Mm-hmm. And initially he tries to get Sakurai to be the one to train him, but Sakurai's kind of like away. He's out of it right now. Mm-hmm. He's at work, but also he's mentally not there.
Yeah.
But so he bothers Mori to play. So, of course, she teaches him how to boot up the game.
And she creates a whole new character because, like, again, she's still nervous about him finding out... She's still nervous about people finding out that she plays a male guy.
Yeah, so she plays a female character, which is heavily, even down to the name, it's heavily influenced by the last character she played. Mm-hmm. Even down to the class, so the class is also a support.
Yeah.
And of course, Sakurai's like, okay, I finished the tutorial, now I'm in this town. And it's like, okay, well, where are you? I can't find you. It's like, oh, don't worry, I'm a blonde bombshell.
Dude, that was one of the best character introductions as well.
I love that. And again, they do this thing where they introduced a character without formally introducing her. So I thought, oh, okay, it's that character. But then the payoff was so much better when you find out he got like a male character, but he beefed up the muscle mass. So she's this super buff choke me mommy with like big tits.
Yeah, no, big tits with like long hair. And you know, it's funny because when I saw it, I was like, oh dude, this reminds me so much of the character I made in Monster Hunter World.
Yeah, I think I did that. You couldn't make a character too muscly, but I did have a character like that in Sunset Overdrive, where my character was super butch looking, and it was like a super tall, like 6-foot female.
Oh, I found a way around that in Monster Hunter because apparently it's like you can't make the females muscly, but all the hairstyles are available for both characters. So when I was creating them, I was like, oh cool, I'll just use the hairstyles from the female category. Yeah. And there you go, perfect trap.
That needs to be a thing that I think more games let you do. I think some American RPGs do it, where they do let you become like a choke me mommy woman.
Although the funny thing was like the end result for me, like you play Fire Emblem Fates, right? Yep. You know that one chick from the Fire Track, Rinka? Mm-hmm. That's literally what I ended up with. Yeah.
God damn. Yeah, I love how like a lot of people like they just fetishize the shit out of her. I'm like, yeah, I'm okay with this. Same thing, the chain conductor in Kabanari too.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Ben's like, she's too muscular for me, and I'm like, and
I know that was me as well when I first found out. I was like, holy shit, like makes sense. She's a conductor for a heavy ass fucking train.
Exactly, and there are parts where when she needs to pull off the brakes, you just see her go like, and I'm like, tie me up, please. And then of course there's Zarya too from Overwatch. So
Zarya is too much of a meme for me to fetishize.
A lot of them are. Again, like Diva, you know.
I have no personal connection with that one.
Yeah, I only like her because she's the only one I can play as really good. I'm really good as Diva, but she's like the easiest to use. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there are people that they just love fetishizing the weeby gamer chick. I mean, what was that girl in Genwalk?
Oh, the Irish chick.
Yeah.
I forgot her name.
Cammy.
There you go.
Yeah, people fetishize the shit out of her, and I'm like, what about Yaz though? Yaz is so hot.
And then, oh, dude.
I'm so happy it's still on Toonami, so a lot of people will get what I'm talking about now.
That was a pretty good show too. I loved it.
It sucks that who knows when season 2's coming out because of all the controversy about Rooster Teeth.
Yeah.
Now they're kind of like being very careful how they work things.
Oh yeah.
So season 2's happening. It's just that we're not going to get it by like probably the beginning of next year like we did this year. So, I mean, Ruby's not coming out till like November.
Oh yeah.
So...
And then, so coming back to the anime as well, like where we left off and everything as well, you know, we find out Koiwa made himself this bombshell with muscles and everything.
Yeah, and they start talking to each other, but like she's trying to get him to be like, oh, well, we gotta join a guild so we can do a group chat so other people don't hear us. And he's like, wait, aren't I doing it now? And then, like, of course, Nico, a character who was introduced without being introduced, just pops up and is like, oh, obviously not. And it's like, you have to click these settings and then boom, you're in your voice chat. And it's like, oh, thank you very much. Kowa, you're saying it in the voice chat. He's like, oops.
He's like, goes back out to the world, like, oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Dude. And that's like the thing about him as well. It's like, you can just see him having a blast with it the whole time because he's laughing at his character and everything. He's like really enjoying the whole like vibe and everything as well. And above all else, still teasing Sakurai about it as well.
Yeah.
Because he's like always like, he's like sending him screenshots of like, oh, here, look.
Yeah, yeah, look at Mori's character, look at the little cutie, and he's like, wait, is that? No, it couldn't that be, right? So he decides to open his own account, because again, he doesn't want her knowing he's Lily.
Yet.
So he opens another account, but this time, he flat out makes it look like the character from the other RPG he played. Yeah. And... he gives it a name similar to...
the same exact thing?
It was Molly, right? Mori's character was Molly?
Yeah, but in the other name she named it completely something else. I forgot what it was though.
Yeah. Well, I think... was it? Oh, right. Yeah, so what he did is he made the character look like himself, but that didn't work. But he put his character's same name from that game in here.
Except he put it in English.
Yeah,
so she was having a hard time reading it.
Yeah, and it wasn't until it's like, yeah, what was the name of your character? I couldn't read the name, and it's like, oh. So she could. So it's not that she didn't recognize the character; she just couldn't read it. Okay, but the character translates to Ruth, and then immediately she has a, holy fucking shit. That's the character I was friends with in this last RPG that closed 6 months ago.
Wait, it was Ruth in the English dub?
Ruth, yeah. What was it called?
In Japanese, it was Hearth.
Hearth. I got the name wrong.
Okay.
It was Hearth. It was also Hearth. Yeah, so it's like Hearth.
Be like, huh.
And then they end up basically finding out, like, wait, did you play this game? And it's like, yup. And I've known it was you, and I even know that you're Hayashi. But they end up having this really cute moment, so again, I'm gonna pause the episode here, and I'm going to point out something really interesting that the creator did.
Good, because you were about to make me explode again.
What? Oh, okay. This was a this is her way of doing a childhood best friend love story.
Yeah.
Without it having to, like, go back into, you know, without them actually having known each other when they were kids.
Yeah.
In this other game, the characters are chibi, so they look like kids. And they knew each other, and they used to play every day until they eventually stopped playing it. And then you have them bumping into each other again as adults in-game. And it's kind of a really smart way of, oh, this game symbolizes their childhood, and this game is symbolizing their adulthood.
It's a pretty good play on the trope, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm like, that is fucking genius. Like I love that she did that. So when those characters enter the game, it really is like, oh my god, I recognize that character. I recognize your name. Oh, it was you. And it was so freaking adorable. But then what ends up happening is they find out all this on the phone.
Yes, they're talking on the phone and everything. And for me, when I ended on that episode, like if you heard me earlier, I still gave the same reaction when I first saw it. I was like, why?
I hated that shit so bad. It's just like, oh, by the way, Mori, I'm Lily. Hello?
It's like she's probably too shocked to even answer me. And it looks like, or my phone is dead.
Ah!
I was like, no, not this bullshit again.
I hate this trope. I just pick up my laptop and
But yeah, so they were having a heart-to-heart on the phone and everything, like just catching up on what happened and everything. Because, like, you know, Mori is happy that, again, that she found a friend that, like, for the longest time she never knew what happened to him or anything. And and then like Sakurai knew like eventually sooner or later like she was gonna figure it out, so he had pretty much decided at that point like, okay, I'm gonna tell her everything just so she know, just like she's finally in the know and everything. But then his phone dies, and at that point I was like, dude, if I had to watch this on a week-to-week basis, I would have been dying for like a whole week.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah, I'm so glad I didn't watch this when it was coming up, because I was, and then I'm like, nah, fuck it. There's other stuff I want to watch. But then there's like, then you end up having this thing where they end up going to just hang out, right? They go out and like hang out.
Oh no, he bumps into her on his way to work.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But this was before the meeting with Koiwai and everything.
Yeah, so do you want to cover that then?
Yeah, so right after he finds out and everything as well, and like the phone cuts off.
Keep going after the direction.
Go for it, man. So the phone cuts off and everything. So pretty much at that point, he was like, I was like, I wonder if she heard it or anything. So when he wakes up in the morning, the next morning, he pretty much finds out that she messaged him or anything, and that she didn't hear the bit where he says like he's Lily. Which for me was frustrating as hell, because I was like, fucking hell, it was so close to being perfect. So at that point, he was kind of like, I wonder, he was kind of deciding when to pretty much like, figure out again when he was going to get another good chance to like pretty much tell her like who he is and everything in the game, and pretty much have that heart-to-heart again, because at this point, he definitely caught the feels for her, definitely caught the feelings for her and everything. And Sakurai for the long bit of him as well is like, every time he talks to her, he always gets this pain in his chest because he knows what he's doing. It's kind of like, he knows he loves her, but at the same time he just feels like, my friend's already dating her and everything, even though his friend's the one trying to just set him up in the first place. Which is pretty much, for me, it's one of the reasons why I love and hate shoujos. There's just so many things that you just scream at the main characters like, do it! Just because you know you've been into that situation, or you can relate to the situations that they've been in. Especially me later on. Daddy, I'm about to blow up! Oh, God.
What?
And pretty much again as well.
Oh, shit. Right, hold on.
So when he meets her again, like this time by coincidence, because he's walking home, he catches her outside, and they're just talking for a bit. So when he starts talking back, he pretty much brings back the conversation to where they left it off last time in the phone, and they're having a little bit of a heart-to-heart again. Like she's saying, like she's so grateful to him about always making time back in the day, even though he was kind of busy and everything. And that's when he decides to come out and everything. He's like, I haven't been honest with you this whole time because, to tell you the truth, I'm Lily in the game. Which is one of the funniest scenes, because like that's when she really just goes like into overload.
Yeah, but
she's just like, okay, so he's Sakurai, and he was Hearth back in the game I used to play, and he's also Lily in the game I play now. Because she was almost, I think at this point she was starting to connect a little bit of the dots, but she wasn't assuming anything, because she's like, yeah, every time I talk to you, I can't help but see Lily and everything, because every time you guys talk to me, it always sounds like you've always planned your words so carefully, like you're always caring and everything as well. So I can't help but feel calm with you, because you always remind me of Lily, and that's when he tells her the truth about it.
Yeah. So I'm here to quickly diffuse the situation, because I literally heard the ticking bomb happen while we were talking,
dude. Because like next thing that happens, because like afterwards, like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna say it. But afterwards, once he figured, pretty much find that once he tells her about it, she really starts telling him about like she really needs a second to figure it out, because at this point, like her head's already like overloading and everything.
Yeah.
Sakurai at this point feels like, I hope it wasn't too much of a shock. And it's like, no, like just give me a second, because like I'm literally like my CPU is like overloading right now at this point. Like, I'm trying to collect my thoughts. So she's starting to like once she figures out who she is and Lily and everything, that's when she brings back the conversation, and when she's collected her thoughts, like like because Sakurai at that point tells her, now that I've done this and everything, I'm planning to actually quit my job, quit playing the MMO at this point, and actually focus on my job more.
Yeah, quits playing Fruits de Mer. So because similar to Mori, he also tends to overthink things. So he does look at this as like a giant betrayal, that I told you all this personal stuff and you didn't tell me even though you knew. And that's not how she reacted at all, but he was ready to just be like, I'm gonna focus on my job and stop playing Fruits to Mare. And she's like, the fuck you are.
I know.
Like, I don't want to lose my best friend. Like, you know, I have Lily and then there's you. And yeah, I don't want to lose like either of you guys. So, you know, please don't.
Yeah, and then for me, this is, goddamn, I'm tearing up with this scene. Because afterwards she says, after all, I was like, remember what you told me when you first when we
became partner.
Yeah, it's like we're partners and everything. So like it'd be really sad if like you never showed up anymore because, and then like when she was looking down, I was like, because you're such a good online friend to me, and I was like,
but you know what that means. You know how awkward they are. So.
Exactly, which for me. Which is what makes it even worse, because I've done this already!
Oh look, the firemen are here to put out the fire.
I'll let this go on for you, because this is already starting to hit me close to home again.
Yeah, so anyway, things end up kind of fixing themselves. They become like friends, but one of the, oh no, sorry. We did skip over a little detail that I was about to like completely put out of place, and that was like, they went to the same convenience store and one of the shopping clerks thought they were dating.
Oh, that was after that.
Yeah.
That was like the second meeting.
Was it?
Yeah, that's after that's pretty much where the episode ends, and you just see Mori taking a shower in Sakurai's house.
Oh yeah.
And then the next episode starts where like, you know, Sakurai's drinking with Koiwai.
Oh, okay.
Because he's bummed out that he got friend zoned, which totally relatable.
Yeah, which is fine, but, you know, given how awkward she is... Because one of the things is like, Mori also has very bad self-esteem issues, as we've mentioned already. But she thinks that Sakurai is too awesome that he wouldn't want to be with someone like her. And Kowai kind of puts it together as, I don't know if you're thinking that because of the age difference, but he's 28, and arguably he's one of the most responsible and mature people I have ever met.
Mm-hmm.
So like again, Kowai, being the fucking best person in the show, is basically like, yeah, I don't know what's keeping either of you guys back, but like, you know, he's into you, I know you're into him, and then cue Danny, just fuck. But yeah, I don't know if you want to like cut it off here, unless you have like other things to say.
I think no, because at this point as well, like, because afterwards, like, I'll leave you that little bit, like, to pretty much imagine how they even got together in the first, well, not even got together, but how they got to the situation where she's taking a shower at his place.
Which is hilarious.
Which is hilarious, yes. And it was something I was not expecting at all for that episode to end.
Yeah, the OVA even touches on that too.
I know. I want to see it now.
Yeah.
But one of the things was, like, Koiwai was doing, because, like, at the times, like, he noticed, like, Sakurai was bummed out. Because like this is the first time, because like when they were drinking, like, dude, like you rarely ever like drink to the point where you get drunk and everything.
Yeah.
Like, this is such a treat for me. Like taking pictures of him and everything. And as I say, it's like, what? Is there something out on your mind? He's like, no, I'm just bummed out. Is all. It's like, oh, I think I know what had happened. So pretty much like just to like end it up the note of anything as well, just so you guys can see that ending, which is so satisfying. But again, it's gonna make me burst into tears.
Yeah, and I don't want to drown or get burnt alive in the fire, so we'll just cut it there.
Cut it there, and just know that Koiwai will forever be best bro, and I gotta apologize to my friend now, just now that I know like what he's been doing for me for the past for a few years. It's not cock blocking me.
Yeah. Yeah, is it really cock blocking if the person is trying to include you?
Exactly.
Yeah, so... because I've been flat out cock blocked before. Someone let me knew. Fuck you. That's why I fuck with you so much. I'll tell you later.
I was like, dang, that got real. there goes Danny's bomb.
No. Well, one of our friends, Ben, did flat out like try to cock block me one time, and yeah, he straight out cock blocked me, but it never went anywhere with that girl. And then there was another point I'll never forget where I had a tutor. This was before you came in, 2015. You started 2015, but you didn't join the group until 16, right?
Yeah, it's winter.
Yeah, so I had a tutor that was tutoring me in class. She was a very nice, like, Filipino girl, and I'm like talking to her, and she's like, I'm like, wait, don't you have a class right now? And she's like, no, I don't mind being late. Then fucking Ben shows up, tells me something, immediately starts talking to her, and then she's like, oh, actually, I have to go. I'm like, you son of a bitch. I'm like, I'm fucking going to kill you. But yeah, anyway, that was Danny's Fun Cock Block story. That's why, like, I'm just like, you're lucky you never gave me an opportunity, because I would fucking get you back so hard.
Oh, wow.
So, anyway, moving on to final thoughts. Let's hope the ending is easier to find.
I think it is. I'm just like, I was trying to collect my thoughts just like Maury was. Yeah. But anyways, you want to start it off or do you want me to start it off?
Yeah, one moment, just let me, I'll start it off.
Yeah.
Since this is your pick. Oh, you already got the opening?
I got the ending here.
The ending.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god. What's wrong with my internet?
Disney planning to kill off Spider-Man if Sony doesn't play ball.
Oh.
Do it. Huh? You've heard about that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The memes are funny over there.
I love it so much. There's a scene in Endgame. You saw Endgame, right?
Yes.
You remember that scene in the beginning where he's just like, where he's all like, Steve, I lost the kid. Yeah, it's basically that scene, but it's Marvel's face on it, and it's like, I lost the kid.
Dude, and that scene was funny as well because like there was one where it's like where it's like I forgot what scene of a movie it was. But it was like Marvel over them. Like you just see like Marvel like walking out of the house. Like you see like you see Disney over here. He's like, don't make me have to buy you out as well, like I did with the others.
That's probably what's gonna happen. But what Sony will probably do, because they've threatened before, if Disney does try to buy Sony's gonna sell off Spider-Man to another company.
Ooh.
That's that's what they should do, and I think one of the executives even said that's kind of the plan if that does happen, because we know that's one of the reasons why Disney bought Fox is because they wanted the Fantastic Four and X-Men, and you know, with how Avengers already jumped the shark, they need something to kind of one-up that.
Yep.
So, what do? You get one of the biggest... You get the X-Men, which easily hold half of the Marvel Cinematic Universe right there. And you get the Fantastic Four, who... Characters have played major plot lines in this entire 22 years of the Marvel movies, but they couldn't be in it because they weren't owned by Marvel.
Oh yeah, so, and then finally as well, like pretty much again, like this is funny because like the actor for Spider-Man, Tom Holland, is like they were even coming up with new ideas. Like Sony was like, all right, what would be like the final franchise to this? So I was like, oh, it'll just be like because you know there's like Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home. And I was like, oh, just make the last one Spider-Man homeless.
Yeah, Spider-Man homeless or Spider-Man homesick. I don't like being in this new dimension. I miss all my friends.
Alright, I got the ending.
Alright.
You ready to go final thoughts?
Yeah, final thoughts in 3, 2.
Oops. Had it in my headphones. Alright, blast it.
3, 2, 1. And yeah, this was one of those. This was one of those animes that I was kind of under the impression that was supposed to destroy me. And no, it did. But one of the things I've mentioned already that I stopped the show for is the fact that this show didn't really have a scenario that did hit me the way it hit Rui or like other people, even down to the point where it was someone I know, his life in anime form, where again, when I saw the show, I just saw it as this really funny, cute romantic comedy that wasn't afraid to actually humanize the characters and make the situations less anime-like. I love the fuck out of these characters. It really does suck knowing this is a 10-episode anime made specifically to help the manga light novel sales. What is it, a light novel or a manga?
Manga right now, I think. It's serialized as a manga at this point.
Oh, cool. So, to help the manga sales. So it kind of sucks that we may never get a season 2. But I gravely, I would very much appreciate it because I do like the characters. I am very curious how the married couple looks in real life or how the cat girl looks in real life.
They showed her a little bit.
The cat?
Yeah.
In the actual anime?
Yeah.
No, I never saw that.
They showed her a little bit.
Show me? Well, I don't mind cutting off the music. Just show me.
You've never seen it?
No.
They showed her a little bit at one point. But it was just kind of like one of those like random things where like, alright, how does this relate? Until you realize who she is.
I don't remember that at all. So, anyway, I am very much hoping that maybe one day we'll get more. I'm crossing my fingers, but as soon as the manga ends, just know that it will probably stop.
Himeralda. The other girl was Himeralda. Never mind. Lilac was the little vampire chick.
Yeah.
See, they showed her for a little bit.
What scene was that? I don't even remember that character.
That was like on episode 6 or so, when we discovered who Lily was as Sakurai. And then like we get to see like her who she is in real life when she was saying like, oh, I wish I was like Sakurai who had more time to spend on the game, but I'm still a high school student.
Oh.
They just showed her briefly though.
Fuck, I'd have to go back and look at that. I probably wasn't looking. I probably decided to take that one moment to like check my phone. But yeah, that's weird. So yeah, overall, I think the show's fucking phenomenal. I say that a lot, but that's kind of the point of the show, is that we pick things that we know the other will like. Very rare when we pick something that the other doesn't like. I tend to notice that's the thing when Ben picks something, like with Show and Sample, which mind you I liked a lot. It was a fun little garbage trash. But anyway, what?
No, I'm just saying continue.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, no, I think that's about it for everything. I really hope there are Nindroids of these characters, because I want a Moe Nindroid. Probably isn't, but I very much like one. Get on that, good smile. But yeah, no, honestly, yeah, that's all I have right now. So I'm moving this on to Lewis, and I'm ready to call 911 if anything happens.
Just realizing this whole review and everything, I realized I just ended up self-destructing more than I ended up harming Danny.
Yeah. Yeah, you ended up hurting yourself more.
Yes.
And it's funny because I was initially going to hit you with Land of the Lustrous, but I'm like,
I love that show.
This anime's gonna hurt me more. Not because it's bad, but because it's like really sad.
Yeah.
I don't know if you finished it.
Yes, I did, and I know what you mean, because I was like, when I realized what was happening on with it, it kind of did make it a little depressing afterwards.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll be doing something else a little lighthearted, and we'll go to that, my next pick after.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, for me, when I first saw like Recovery of an MMO Junkie, I saw it a couple months after it aired and everything, so it was completed and everything. And I pretty much started it because a lot of my friends were recommending it to me, and I was like, oh, okay, this looks nice. So I was like, this looks pretty nice. It's got an MMORPG element to it as well, like people interact in real life. So I'm like, I wonder how this is gonna play off. Then I found out it's one of those like romance animes. It's like, ooh, rom-coms, my favorites.
Yeah.
And then first time I watched it, I was seeing all the scenes unfold. I really realized, I was like, dang, this is hitting a lot closer to home than I realized. It's like, I don't like this anymore. But I still spread on. Ending was satisfactory to the point where it was even heartwarming. I'll leave you guys to see the ending for that for yourself, because I really want you to see the payoff for it.
And be sure you watch the OVA, because the OVA is pure.
No, I want to watch it now. I gotta get onto it as well. I'm surprised I never put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
But I love the show and everything. As you can tell, since I managed to watch it 2 more times before we even did the recording and everything. And loved all the characters as well. I should really get started to reading the series as well, because it's really one of those things I need to get into.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they flat out show how they look in this ending.
Oh yeah.
I've never seen it.
Except for Pocotora and Esmeralda.
Yeah.
But I want to see those two in real life as well. They sounded like they had such a good They sounded like they just had such a rocking dynamic.
Yeah.
Love the characters. MMORPG was good. Grounded in reality as well. And I didn't even get to do my little psychology bit as well. But now that I'm a little bit more versed in it, also had a little bit of good psychological bits here and there that I loved.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I didn't think I could talk about the little research study we were doing.
Yeah, but if you psychiatrists want to watch this episode and then diagnose Rui, feel free.
Oh God. I don't need a diagnosis. My prescription right now is I just need to booze it up right now.
I have to do some hard liquor when Stanley leaves.
Even though I'm a hard believer that no one should ever self-medicate.
Yes.
Even if you are a doctor, just get another doctor to look at you.
Exactly.
But yeah, this show, love it to bits. Even though it destroys me every time I always see it. It makes me die a little on the inside. But I don't care. Love this show so much as well. Really relatable to me. I thought it'd be a little bit more relatable to Danny, but he was immune, so I was like, oh, I'll have to get him next time with another thing.
You have to hit me with something harder than that.
I'll probably just make you read emergence for a hentai episode.
No hentai stuff. Okay, we'll do it one day. We'll do it. Let's say December. Let's make the holiest. Since there's not a lot of Christmas anime that purely center on Christmas, might as well. So fuck it, let's set the hentai date for December.
I was gonna say November for No Nut November. Make it harder for people.
No, yeah, totally. Let's do it. Fucking no November. But are we gonna do it like we did it the last time, or are we going to actually do a traditional style? I can't imagine there's a lot we can go on. I mean, probably I have a few. But like some of my favorite hentai only like one episode, or like the ones that are like 10 minutes long.
I know. So if anything, I'm thinking, dude, if you're down, I'm down to invite Nestor for it, and we do a review of the dub for Bible Black.
I don't want to watch Bible Black though. Oh, you know, fuck it, why not? You're not an anime fan if you haven't done that. No, I don't want to be an anime fan then. So
trust me, the dub is legendary for Bible Black. You'll get a kick out of it.
Is it powering good though? Is it that powering mean good though? Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
My powering! Ah!
Yes.
So, are you done?
Yep, I am done with this because any more than this and I'm just gonna burst into tears or die.
Okay, I'm so glad I didn't cut you off.
So, I am happy with this show. Definitely gonna be watching the OVA and spread the love, people. Make this show popular so we can get an Nendoroid so Gutsman can be like, oh wow, this show just got a lot of spikes all of a sudden. Maybe we should think of a Nendoroid.
Exactly.
So fools like me can spend my money on them.
Yes. So what we will be doing now next week, we'll be doing a revisit. Because the first episode was good, but it turned into a hilarious disaster. We'll be doing We'll be doing a return / if he can finish it in time, a full-on season 2 review of Thunderbolt Fantasy.
Wonder Marcy.
No, not that. And goddamn you, life got me. You freaking. Anyway, we'll be doing Thunderbolt Fantasy next week. It's so good. The second one is literally just the song they would sing throughout the show as the opening, and I'm like, good choice. This is the guy, by the way, this is the guy who did like the Soul Eater opening.
Yep,
and he's
a big band.
He's a character in season 2. Because he's represented by a doll. I'll go into more next week, but he's represented by a doll. And the doll was only there to kind of do a music video and be a gift to the guy for doing it. But then Geno Nobuchi really liked the design of the doll, so he wrote